The Power Trading Hour with your host, David White. Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-445-1044. Now, David White.
Well, I must be on here. I was distracted. I had a few things actually going on here. Anyway, welcome to the show. Another excellent edition of the Power Trading Hour with me, your humble, lovable, and squeezably soft host. As always, we'd like to come to you at this time.
The following takes place between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m.
So we're up, well, is that right? 21 points? 88 points. I don't know why that thing was stuck there. Up 88 points on the S&P 500. Probably gave you a heart attack there. We've been kind of bouncing around from about 125 to 40, maybe 35. I didn't see it actually earlier. Well, let's take a look here and see. Okay, what was the 2492 to 2632 for the range today on the S&P is what I show. As we get into, of course, the weekend, kind of strange that we didn't have a lot of people talking about Friday the 13th. It kind of seems small in comparison to what happened this one. But generally every year, everybody's, if we get a Friday the 13th, everybody's always talking about it. Anyway, still a lot of volume, 9.5 billion shares. My guess is that there will be a few things that will make a sign of a fairly good bottom. One of them is going to be this volume dropping down to being about 5 billion shares as I start my show. But about 9.5 billion still says there's a lot of running around to do. Let's go ahead and move that back if I can. Okay. Get a few things done. And, I need to move that too. I had to reboot my machine right before the show, and I always dislike that because I already had rebooted it. But there was another nagging issue that made me reboot yet a second time. But we will soldier on. I know a lot of people talk about being a hero, but, rebooting 2 times and still going on with the show. Yeah, that's me. Anyway, we'll keep an eye on the rest of what's going on today, but I'm just kind of expecting us to kind of flop around here. Now, the biggest signals that I see today are that options are madly overpriced for the next week for volatility. Right now, if you buy at the money puts on the UVXY, it would have to move $10 just to break even before next Friday. That's telling you something, and that is that even if it does nothing, if it just goes sideways, there's probably a good indication that we're going to have seen, at least for the very short term, kind of a high in volatility. Now, going into this weekend, if you can sit on your hands and hold something, that says quite a lot. My guess is that we'll have a lot of people kind of blink a little bit before the end, but that tells you a great amount about price discovery, and that is people are willing to sit on their hands through the weekend, through a potential another Molotov cocktail being thrown at the market by the Saudis or somebody else, it's hard to say what you can look at. Anyway, we've got a lot more stocks to look at today. This is when you start really making the money, and that's not trading, but finding the right trade. And we'll be looking at a lot more of those movers today as we go through it. Didn't do much in the way of history, so we're going to skip that again today. We'll get back to it on Monday, but just been too busy rebooting my machine before the show. But we will soldier on. I know we all have our crosses to bear. So we looked at the volume. Probably one of the other big indicators today is the dollar index, $98.48. That's up about $1.03 right now. And if you had any real worry about what the dollar was doing, this move back down into the 95s or so, back up into close to 99 today, tells you quite a lot, and that is that people are getting into cash. And when cash is king, is it rupees? Nay, I say. Is it shekels? Nay, I say. Is it anything else other than the mighty Benjamin? No, it is not. Cash is king. It's always the dollar. So we're seeing that kind of day. When we look at crude, it's up about 2.5%, which is about 77 cents as we speak. Natural gas, $1.87. It's up a little bit, 3 cents or so. But gold, probably the big surprise out here, down to $15.24. I will be on with Tom O'Brien at 3:30. One of the first things I want to talk to him is Bitcoin, gold, and gold itself. So we'll talk a little bit more about that at the 3:30 hour, as kind of eventually what we see as the way to store. How can you say it? Store value is generally the way that big gold bulls talk about it. And what happened? So, you came down, 7-8% in gold. What is 1650 to 16 or 1524? What is that? 7-8% compared to the moves that we had in Bitcoin and Bitcoin gold. But I've got a fairly interesting chart in Bitcoin gold that we'll show. And what else do we have out here? I think that's about it. I'm going to go ahead and get ready in a fast-moving market and try to get as many of these charts in today. We, of course, will take your phone call at 877-927-6648. We'll email you you can email me at path@tfnn.com. And, of course, you can always drop a message in the den. And it's all about the Benjamins, as we always say. Oh, I forgot to do one thing. That's true. What is that? There it is. And we do that. Ben J, right? Okay. I think I got that. And, I had this written down. I should have probably popped it up before I want. It's all about the bank, the Benjamins, the big ones, the bones, the bread, the bucks, the cabbage, the cheddar, the clams, the coin, the C's, the dimes, the dough, the fins, the 5 spots, fivers, folding stuff, greenbacks, G's, grands, large, loot, mola, simoleons, smackers, snacks, wampum, yards, everything you want to call them, they want in God we trust on them. We'll be back in a minute.
If you're not currently using the TAS Profile Scanner when looking at setting up your trading opportunities, then your arsenal is short a mighty weapon. The TAS Profile Scanner is a standalone piece of software that instantly filters over 2,500 global financial markets such as stocks, ETFs, commodity futures, and Forex. Headed by Steve Dahl, TAS understands that in today's technological world, the use of top-flight software applications and technical analysis expertise is essential to successful trading in today's market. You also gain access to the webinar that Steve Dahl and Tom O'Brien just hosted, The Best Way to Use the TAS Profile Scanner to Profit. This webinar archive is available for all subscribers immediately upon signing up. All new subscriptions also come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. Start your subscription by visiting the front page of TFNN.com today, and you'll find the TAS Profile Scanner under the Services tab. Sign up today. Are you in the market for buying or selling real estate in the Bay Area, including the surrounding St. Petersburg, Tampa, and Clearwater markets? Tiger Real Estate LLC is a firm that has extensive experience in the Tampa Bay area. Whether you're looking to sell your current property for maximum value, or you're in the market for a second home or investment property, Tiger Realty has the experience across all areas of real estate in the Tampa Bay area to help buyers and sellers make the most informed decisions across all price levels. From the price you should be paying per square foot in certain up-and-coming areas to the type of cash flow investment properties are capable of creating, Tiger Real Estate can help you make the best decision when it comes to all areas of the market. Before you make one of the biggest decisions of your financial future, call Tiger Real Estate LLC today at 727-329-8322 or email us at tiger@tfnn.com. That's 727-329-8322. Call us today.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Call now, toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
And let's see what we have going on here. Okay. Okay, we're back to a few things. Just wanted to check back in. Of course, the market moving fairly quickly, showing up 88 points on the S&P cash, 812 on the Dow, NASDAQ 233, Russell up 35, and crude oil up 3 cents, or up 3%, excuse me. So we're going to keep an eye on that, but looking for a lot of back and fill over the next week. Ideally, you'd want to bounce a bit and then come back down and test levels that we saw over the last couple of days. You'd like that to be over maybe a week or two. You don't want just an instant test because that's probably not going to last. But if you can kind of bounce and fill for a little while, 4 or 5 days, a lot of times that's enough time to work out huge disparities in the market. But we will keep an eye on that. Anyway, give me a call at 877-927-6648. Okay. And we'll go to the movers out here today. Everything up 10% or down. Autodesk, pretty nice bounce, gave about half of it back. But one of the leaders out here, fairly light volume. Again, now that we have these lows in, now we're waiting for kind of a bounce and then a pull back into those lows with fairly light volume. But a nice bounce nonetheless on Autodesk today. Got up to about, 156? What was that there? High. 153? Is that it? Okay. 153.08. It's printing off at 147.56 now from 135.70 for the low yesterday. And it did kind of close almost at the low. AMP, Ameriprise Financial. I think we talked a little bit about this one yesterday. Got into the previous $93.15 low on December 26th. Yesterday you had more volume, so it has broken the previous low on volume. I think the ones that we're really looking for now are the ones that severely could pop back into the trading range after breaking those lows with lighter volume. Apache had kind of a bad hair day. It's continuing on. Didn't do much in the way today. Avago coming out and kind of doing a little pre-announcement, I think, earlier in the morning, if I remember this right. It's down to 201. Again, a lot of these things have some fairly significant lows, not that much farther down, and you want to get them tested now instead of having them come back at you. July 12th, 2018, 186.77. You're going to have to watch these big conglomerates because, of course, these are the guys that will have a lot of skeletons. In fact, a cemetery in the closet when it comes to accounting issues. 201.16 today, but that 186.77 does look like it needs to be tested before it will find a low. And then, of course, that also has to do with the SMHs and a lot of others. Baker Hughes out today, and, of course, from 25.78 back on January 3rd to $10.58 yesterday. A little bit of a bounce out here. Not one of the worst companies in the energy sector, but if you're looking for anybody spending money with the Saudis cranking out crude at $30, it's hard to talk people into making a big investment when that happens. Some fairly large bounces in percentage-wise in the cruise ship stocks, since they're going to get a lot of easy money to borrow, and at least they're not going to go out of business. But gave back about half of it, which is what we're kind of looking at. You're going to get a lot of these stocks doing that now. Capital One, this one a little bit better than the rest, got up to 71.19 today. Again, almost everything giving back at least part, if not half, of the bounces up. 61.08 from yesterday. So again, could you see this go sideways? Maybe all through next week, get a retest, maybe the week after that. That would be at least one scenario that you'd be looking at. We were talking about this one as a potential bounce coming up. I don't think I said today. I just thought it was very interesting that something with the Kardashians labeled next to it wouldn't have a bounce in it somewhere. Hint, hint. Wink, wink, nod, nod. 602 yesterday was the low, $7.37 as the high today. It actually held most of it. Of course, they make, what would you call it? Not so much teenage, but young people, cheap kind of makeup and that kind of stuff. I think so. Yeah, somebody got it. Monty Python. Okay, Delta Airlines, again, free money, 33.46 down at the low, but they're going to have access to some cash. Nice pop today, gave back about half of it, which is not uncommon. You're basically going to be in this trading range for a while, most likely until you get all the planes back up in the air. Housing still a disaster. D.R. Horton, not everybody thinking that there will be a lot of cash or get a loan for a new house. This one's almost making dark cloud cover on yesterday's horrible candle, but you know what? The volume is not quite there. Doesn't mean you can't go a little lower in the meantime until we find some kind of tradable bottom. E-Trade Financial back into the trading range. If you go back to the October 3rd low of 2019, 34.57, that had 9.5 million shares. You only got 6.75 million shares yesterday. Now, that went down to $30.75, but this is what you're looking for. It closed back into the trading range in the next day or two after these things pop down, and that's generally a good indication that you've got some level of a false breakdown in the stock, although I wouldn't be jumping all over it yet. I think you've got some sideways action to go. But put that in your notebook and start looking at these stocks that have popped back into the trading range, didn't have a volume as they broke previous lows. Goldman Sachs actually looking a little bit better out here today than many, off the lows with 8.5, and let's call it 8.4 million shares yesterday, but you're only up with 4. But I think we might be finding these kind of levels where they could bounce around at least sideways for a week. H&R Block, Huge downside yesterday. I think a lot of that had to do with people talking about not doing anything with taxes for a while. I think that's kind of faded. I don't think it's going to make it in any bills from what I read today. A little bit of a pop out here today, but still in the middle of the candle yet from yesterday. Okay. Host hotels and resorts. You had a doji yesterday, big engulfing today. Doesn't look any better. I don't think a lot of people want to stay in hotels right now, although I'm going to have a little vacation this weekend. We'll be back in a minute.
If you're a trader in the market looking to find the path that leads to maximizing profits while decreasing risk, then now is a great time to try out Dave White's daily trading service, The Path of Least Resistance. Through the use of options and equity trades, Dave advises his subscribers on a daily basis of the current market conditions and what possible trade setups are on the horizon. The Path of Least Resistance is published every trading morning, often with updates intraday when initiating trades or closing out positions. Dave White has advised his clients of some outstanding winning options and equity trades in recent months, and now is a great time to try it out for yourself. New subscribers to the Path of Least Resistance receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. See for yourself the types of options and equity trades that are available by signing up for the Path of Least Resistance today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com and selecting the newsletter tab. Sign up today.
Hi folks, Tom O'Brien here. If you'd like to get my daily newsletter, Market Insights, then now is a great time to sign up for a 30-day free trial. Every morning by 9:30, I send out my morning letter to subscribers with market commentary on a variety of markets, currencies, and commodities to keep investors up to date on the day's trading action. Included in Market Insights are specific buy and sell recommendations for stocks, ETFs, and even options, with stops and price targets included for every trade in my newsletter. If you'd like to try my newsletter risk-free for 30 days, then head over to the front page of TFNN and you'll find Market Insights under Trading Newsletters. I use my years of trading experience to bisect and dissect the market every morning and give my subscribers the most important information they need to know for the day ahead. I even issue afternoon updates for my subscribers whenever warranted with important market action. I'm always scouring the market for the next great trading opportunity. Sign up for your 30-day free trial to my daily newsletter, Market Insights, today by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Wow! Go get them, folks.
TFNN is excited about our new software charting program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts. In collaboration with Tom O'Brien and using his best-selling book, The Art of Timing the Trade, Your Ultimate Trading Mastery System, David White has programmed an outstanding piece of software that will complement any trader's methodology. Using this first-of-its-kind program, The Art of Timing the Trade Charts allows you to scan thousands of stocks for Fibonacci formation setups, including Gartley's, ABC's, butterflies, and much more. The Art of Timing the Trade Charts is designed to help you when scouring the markets for stocks just beginning to form the trading patterns that many investors spend days, weeks, or even months searching to find. And right now, we're offering licenses available at only $79 a month. We are so confident that you're going to love this new charting software that will even give you a 30-day unconditional money-back guarantee. Don't miss out on this incredible new piece of software. Get your copy of The Art of Timing the Trade Charts today by visiting TFNN.com.
This segment is brought to you by Think or Swim. For more information, just click the Think or Swim banner on the front page of TFNN.com.
And the S&P up 75, and we call it 76 right now. International paper next on my list, up on fairly light volume. Of course, it's going to take some decent amount of manufacturing to get going again. If you're not selling stuff, you're not buying stuff from international paper. But when the orders start coming in, this is generally the canary in the coal mine for U.S. manufacturing. Key Corp, excuse me. Keys is the other one. little bounce up on this one again. Not a lot of volume so far today. We'll see how the end of the day comes in. Of the ones that continue to act sick, Lennar did open a little higher today, rolled in and below yesterday's low. Nobody really thinking that money is going to make it to housing loans anytime soon. Lincoln Electric, or Lincoln National, excuse me. Keep on thinking about Lincoln Electric, which is the big robotics and they got everything, welding equipment and everything else. This is the insurance and retirement business. Different than the other Lincoln, which I like. I like their stuff. I like their laser cutters, their plasma cutters. You don't have much in the way of this one. Okay, let's take a look at LYB. Linden Basel Industries. Take a quick look at this one. Same thing, opened up a little higher, ate the entire candle from yesterday. It is lower volume, but not much right there. LYB. Why did I not get the right thing here? I do not know. Come on. Everything's just a little slower today. Operates as a chemical company worldwide. Company operates in 6 segments: olefins and polyfins, media derivatives, advanced polymer solutions, plastics. Refining and technology produces, markets olefins and co-products, polyethylene products, which consist of high-density propylethylene. Can't even say it today. Low density propylene is PP homopolymer. Plastics. That's all you need to know. They deal in plastics. Interesting. I think that if you listen to The Graduate, that would be still doing well. It would be still doing well. Live Nation, LYV for this one. Little pop. Again, no volume so far today. But that you would think that that's kind of horrible, and it's in the short term it is. But what you want is this thing, the markets, to settle down. And the first part of that is to have lighter volumes up and lighter volumes down until you consolidate out all these losses. MGM Resorts did open up a little higher, but rolled off also. Gambling doesn't seem to be any better at all. Along with those housing stocks, Buffett's Mohawk Industries, I think he owns 7 or 8% of it, rolled just up a little bit at the open, but down hard now. Morgan Stanley, a little pop, and it's holding it, kind of like Goldman Sachs was. Again, not probably enough volume. Can get a little back and feel. Norwegian Cruise Line did give up its pop from earlier in the day. Newmont Mining, one of the more interesting candles out here in the gold market. Man, did pop up to 46.20 earlier in the morning, and it's now, what is it, $40.58. Not quite the dark cloud cover. You'd kind of like it to close a little bit lower, but man, that's one ugly candle. But you know what? It's probably only ugly for a short amount of time. I remember early on when we were having Jim Sinclair on TFNN, he was talking about how the first couple of weeks after a down move, gold miners and everything are sold pretty heavily. And then after that, it seems to be kind of the go-to thing after the giant disaster. Kind of as the lead up and kind of at the beginning of it, everybody kind of hops in gold, then everybody sells gold. And then generally a lot of times that's where the big move starts that can be sustained for a while as the market moves back higher. So does gold. But we shall see. But that's about enough to get anybody out of a stock short term. Northern Trust, a nice bounce with a move back up to the previous gap and holding it. NVR This one just, well, you can't say anything more horrible than the candle out here, other than it's not at the lows of the day. Not a lot of volume in this one. But what does this one do? Home builder in the United States operates two segments. Home building and mortgage banking. Man, if they had something else like airlines in it, it would be a trifecta of horrible. Okay, Oracle. Nice reversal on this one today, down to $39.71 yesterday with fairly decent volume, but again, not the kind of volume you would think. Actually turned around, popped higher today. I'm still not a big fan of Oracle long term, but candle does look fairly good. Principal Financial Group compared to the Vice Principal Financial Group, a little pop, and it's still holding higher than yesterday. PRU, Prudential Financial, closed lower yesterday, of course. You're not quite into that low. You did test it earlier today. Yeah, it'd be interesting. It's RCL, which is Royal Caribbean Cruise, of course, trying to get a little bit of that free cash going forward. And a little bit of a bounce this morning, big percentage move, but at the same time gave most of it back. These companies probably won't do well until next year. If there's a vaccination for the virus, maybe that would make a big change in those. Certainly, there's going to be a lot of great deals going forward in that. And, got a question here. You see relative weakness in the semiconductor stocks. Let's take a quick look. SMH. Take a quick look. If I can actually SMH. There we go. Well, I don't know if it's relative weakness as much as almost all of these need to retest the lows. Now, you bounced once today. If these things can just go sideways for a little while, maybe go up a little higher and then come back down, and you see that 108.59 tested with light volume, you might have something out there. The downside is you've got this giant gap at about 101 that goes back to, what is this, June 26 of 2019. It had about 7 million shares. You tested that on August 5th of 2019. Kind of looks like that's where native support's going to be if we continue to drift lower. In the meantime, we'll be back in a minute.
If you're in the CD market and looking for a secure investment, the Tiger First Mortgage Program may work for you. The security for these first mortgages are building lots in the Tax Opportunity Zone in St. Petersburg, Florida. The Tax Act of 2018 set up tax-free zones across the country where you can build and hold for 10 years and pay no tax on the profits, which makes these lots valuable. The investment is anywhere from $30,000 to $75,000. The interest paid is 7% yearly, paid on a monthly basis. According to Bankrate.com, the best rate for a 4-year CD in the country as of February 20th is 3.1%. A $50,000 investment at a normal 4-year CD rate of 3.1% would give you income of $1,550 per year or $6,200 over the 4-year period. That same $50,000 investment in the Tiger First Mortgage Program would give you $3,500 per year or $14,000 over the 4 years. Which would you prefer, $6,200 or $14,000 of interest on your investment? If you would like more information about the Tiger First Mortgage Program, you can call me at 877-518-9190. That's 877-518-9190.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get the competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com. Educating investors.
Are China A shares hot or not? If you trade China A shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A Share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
I am going to Marathon Island. I had a thought early in the week, and that is on Tuesday, how many cancellations were they having in sailboats down there in the Keys? And, of course, a lot of people either won't get on the flights or have canceled or can't get on flights or whatever. So there are a lot of those bareboats down there right now that are, half price for a couple of days. So we're going to buzz down there. It's only 200 miles as the crow flies. And, of course, we know somebody that's got a really fast turbo Mooney. So that's about an hour in the air. So we can be down there about 6:30 tonight. And, we'll be able to sail for a couple of days, come back Sunday night, and at a song for a 50-footer catamaran. And we'll have some nice fun this weekend. Normally, pretty expensive stuff. You get it off half off. Probably one of the better little vacations that I'll have this weekend. So, Now, I may even do it next weekend, too, if they continue to have this. If it's this cheap, if you can just buzz down there in an hour, it's not too expensive. But I will try to pick my battles. But I think going to be a good one this weekend. Going to be nice down in the Keys. And, of course, doesn't hurt when you get half price. Okay, what else do we have? Semiconductors. Question about that. Do I see weakness? We talked about it. You just really need to base out here. We had the ability to bounce off of 2750 on the S&P cash. We broke it. We're going to close below it again today unless something magical happens. I don't believe that's going to happen, which means that we're probably going to go sideways for a week. And that's at the best if someone doesn't throw us yet another anvil as we're drowning in the deep end. So we have to let this thing kind of settle out. But the best thing that could happen would be that we just kind of bounce around, maybe go up a little bit next week and then come back down. My guess, the biggest move next week will be in the UVXY, and that'll probably be to the downside. You spiked to 69.80, but as I said earlier in the show, and in the money, or I mean, and at the money put right now at this time is 10 or 11 bucks. And what does that tell you? It tells you that there's probably a high probability that this is going yet the other way. And you want to keep an eye on that. I don't think I'd hold it overnight, but if you see the market going sideways, this one's probably going to be the best play for a short next week. Market doesn't have to go down. It just doesn't have to go up. And this thing will bleed out at these levels fairly significantly. But again, probably not one you want to hold overnight with all the stuff going on. But, if you can get a spike in the morning, I got it yesterday. I'm just going to play it during the day. I'm not going to play it with a holdover at night. I tried this morning, didn't get it. Stopped out flat, but this is a interesting play going forward through the next week. Okay, St. Patrick's Day. Yes, I just couldn't say man, it's one of those words that you can say every day, and then you get to it one day and you go propylethylene. Man, who knows? Okay, we have somebody on the phone. And I'm so glad that we've got Slack here that clicks me now when we have somebody on the phone. So we'll know that in a second. Looking at dust. What do you think? We'll handle that after this. Michael in Toronto.
Close. Michael in Montreal.
They're no good there. Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm just bouncing around the world right now.
Okay.
I went long, Delic Logistics Partners. I'm underwater, DKL.
Why'd you buy it?
Dividend. The parent company, DK, is doing quite well. They actually just raised their quarterly dividend. I bought both, and I just bought it recently, like in the last 2-3 days, okay? So not panicking yet. Give me your gut opinion.
Yeah, and for those people who don't know, they are in logistics and marketing assets for crude oil, intermediate refined products. It operates in two segments: pipelines and transportation, wholesale marketing and terminaling. So it's all about North American crude and energy, right? It's not outside the United States?
It's not the shale. It's not Bakken. Like, I researched this. Like, I just didn't throw a dart.
I just wanted to look at this and make sure they weren't.
They're not in Bakken. They're not in North Dakota. They're mostly in Texas and Louisiana.
Right, but they're not in South America or Africa or Australia or somewhere else, right?
Yeah. No, Banana Republic, no.
Okay. Take a look at that. Brentwood, Tennessee. The thing is, you got to get to make this thing pay off. You got to get the Saudis and the Russians to shake hands and make good. In which case, it'll probably bounce back up. But I don't understand to handicap that right now. We've gone a week and we haven't seen any kind of real either saber rattling or talk to make nice. I haven't seen any. Have you?
I bet you there's some behind the doors negotiation. Nobody knows.
Right.
Like,
so
they won't tell the public what's happening. There's a lot of behind the door talk. Okay.
Yeah, I have a feeling it's this from the Saudis. Quit giving a lot of money to the Iranians to bomb us. And on the Russian side, it is a lot of bluster and everything else. And, we have nuclear weapons and threats and more threats. And eventually, everybody has to kind of give up on both sides. The question is, does it do any good? And how long can the Russians last? I don't know if you heard me earlier in the week, but I was saying, I think the Saudis have a bigger issue here, and that is being attacked by the Iranians as a surrogate by the Russians to keep crude prices higher because Russia will go broke without that cash. So,
how about Royal Dutch Shell, Class A?
What is that?
RDS.A.
RDS. Okay.
They have a very aggressive daily buyback of stock.
I mean
very aggressive.
Doesn't matter how much you try to buy back in this.
Yeah.
Because if you buy it back, someone's just going to be glad and sell right into it. Can you hold on through the break? Because this is kind of an interesting thing. I just don't.
And SHLX.
Well, we'll look at this when we come back.
I'm certain you are or strive to be one of the best at everything you do in life. It's the most common trait that we tigers and tigresses share. If you're looking to become the best of the best when it comes to managing your money, let me teach you to do what most wealth managers tell you can't be done, which is how to time the markets. I'm Steve Rhodes, author of Mastering Probability, and for the last 12 months, Timer Digest has been tracking my newsletter signals, which have earned me the ranking as their #1 market timer in the nation for the S&P 500 for the last 12, 6, and 3 months. Timer Digest also ranks me as the #1 market timer for gold as well. The fact is, markets can be timed, and I'll teach you the exact set of tools that I use that has transformed me into one of the best at what I do. Sign up for Mastering Probability today by clicking on the newsletter tab on the homepage of TFNN.com and get immediate access to workshops where I take you step by step how to use an extraordinary set of tools as well as provide great market calls too. Sign up today.
David White's newsletter, The Technology Insider, is focused like a laser on finding the next big things in technology. If you had invested only $10,000 in Microsoft in 1986, you'd have been a millionaire by 2000. Disruptive technology like Microsoft's is the key to these massive long-term profits, and the Tech Insider is the vehicle from TFNN to capitalize on these opportunities. This is the go-to newsletter that identifies, monitors, and profits on mostly little-known cutting-edge companies with great long-term prospects. David's experience is as an inventor of Emmy-winning animation products for TV and Hollywood that propelled a company public. Match that with 14 years as a full-time trader, and he's uniquely qualified to guide you through the light-speed world of ever-evolving high-tech. If you're ready to ride the next big technology bull market for less than $40 per month, log on to TFNN.com and get your 2-week free trial to the Technology Insider. Get in on the ground floor of the next big thing today. Since 1984, Basil Chapman has been using the Chapman Wave methodology to advise traders of his expert market opinion. While originally hand-drawing charts from the late 1970s into the 1980s, Basil noticed that prices under most circumstances virtually always had a certain number of legs to the upside before declining sharply. Later, Basil found that computer software, which included the standard market technical indicators, enhanced the degree of accuracy in calling price turns, as well as market trend calls. Thus was born the Chapman Wave sequence. Using the Chapman Wave methodology along with other indicators, Basil Chapman advises his subscribers of his expert market opinion each market day with his opening call newsletter. Right now, you can get a 2-week free trial to the opening call, Basil's daily trading newsletter, by visiting the front page of TFNN.com. Cancel at any time during that trial and pay absolutely nothing. Get your 2-week free trial to Basil's newsletter, The Opening Call, today by visiting TFNN.com.
Catch Tom O'Brien, professional trader and educator, founder of TFNN. Also, a special guest on CNBC. Tom will bisect and dissect the markets. The Tom O'Brien Show, next on TFNN.
And we're back with Michael, I think, still on the line. Quick answer, I looked through everything I could find, and no, I can't be talked into anything other than the fact that unless you get a agreement between the Saudis and the Russians to get the Saudis to quit dumping oil, you're probably going to be down here. My guess is that they will get an agreement. I don't know how to handicap it. Like you said, they're not talking in public.
Okay. So you can't tell me anything about SHLX?
I'm going to just say it's the same as this, and it doesn't really matter unless you get a deal with them on crude. We're going to go, thanks for the call. We're going to go to who's this? Ron in Denver, YVR. How you doing,
David? Liquid Media Group.
Yeah, it's up on a down day. Got some volume last few days. Got a hot game. Do you know what game it is?
They're in the video games, and they got a lot of partnerships in developing video games. And I thought with all the sports being shut down, I think you're going to see more demand for video games. And these guys are.
Do you know which video game it is, though?
That hopes to compete with the big boys.
You know which video game it is, though? Because I couldn't really find anything.
What video games they've done?
Yeah.
I saw some. If I could, Where did I see it? I know they did a bunch of partnerships they just set up, so they're bringing out some more. But
video games tends to be a big part of mind share. That's getting out and letting everybody else know about it.
Yeah.
And the thing is, I can't find a title that they make. So
how about Romans from Mars or something like that? I don't know.
I'll look at it this weekend. We'll talk about it on Monday. Liquid Media Group, YVR. I'll look it up, but I didn't find anything during the break. In the meantime, sell when you can, not when you have to. We'll see you here Monday, same bat channel, same bat time. We'll see you with Tom O'Brien at 3:30.
Larry Pesavento has just started his brand new